Hi and welcome. For today's card I will be doing some stenciling, and I have here a top folded card. The stencil that I'm using is this one right here that I got from a local store, but you can use any stencil that you have. In the end it's about the technique and not so much for the supplies. So I'm gonna tape this down, and I will use some painter's tape. This is the paste that I'm using today, and as you can see, it's made in Germany. And this is a mixed media mousse. It's like a foam. It has a foamy texture, but it is not smooth. It has some granules, very, very small granules, and it comes in a tube like this. So I'm just gonna, actually I want to protect my surface there. I'll just put down a paper bag, a plastic bag actually. And you can feel those granules once you apply this with a spatula. It makes some noises. Now I'm gonna use this Mama Elephant rainwater, I believe. Yes, rainwater pigment ink to do some stenciling, and I have here a sponge dauber, and I'm just gonna lightly apply my color through my stencil. And I won't be removing my stencil, I will just apply the paste and create some dimension. And now I can remove my stencil. So I'm just going to put this aside to dry and come back to it later. I have here another piece of cardstock, and I'm using the same stencil as before, just because I want to have a different color on this one and use a colored cardstock instead of a plain white cardstock. For stenciling I'm using this Hero Hues Unicorn White, and this is a pigment ink, and I'm just gonna apply this with my sponge dauber here. I will use now some white paste. So now I'll just remove my stencil. Yeah, okay. And just look how cool this looks, having some dimension on some spots and the rest of the layout to be flat, but following the same pattern all over the card. And I'll be using this one more time and show you how you can give some dimension to a stenciled background without using any paste. And I'm using the same ink as before. Okay, let's see if I like it. Okay, it's pretty nice. So I'm gonna leave it like this. So as I said, I will be adding some dimension to this stencil image without using any paste. What I'm gonna use is a marker, and I have this Copic marker, and this is the B00. You can do this with pencils, with anything you want. And I'm just gonna add some lines to some areas of my stencil image here. And I'll also use the blender or this 0 and just push a bit that color and hopefully make it a bit lighter. And I'm gonna leave the blender to dry. And here are all the layouts that I created. And this is with the blue paste. And here is the one with the white paste. And a bit of dimension added with a Copic marker. I have here this flower die by Memory Box, and I'm gonna cut this out from some white cardstock. And here it is. Look how pretty this is. I just love how Memory Box dies do the cutting. I want to add some glue to this and cover it in glitter. So I'm gonna use the multimedia matte and just my finger and cover this with glue. The glitter that I'm using is this Clear Rock Candy Distress glitter, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top. Next I have some metallic silver cardstock. For my sentiment I will die cut this thanks out of this silver cardstock here. And I have here my card, and I'm just gonna have this coming right here, and I think I'm gonna do my sentiment right on top. I want to add some dimension to my thanks here, so I'm gonna cut several other more from some plain cardstock. I'm gonna use some liquid glue to adhere all these pieces down. So I will be adhering this down with the same liquid glue that I used before. I'm gonna put my acrylic block on top and give it a second to dry, and I can also press down without rubbing off that glitter. And here you can see how beautifully that glitter sparkles. I just love it. And that finishes my first card. Now for my second card I'm gonna use the same things, and we'll be adding some color to it. And I have here the neon Hero Arts. I'll be doing some more die cutting, and I will use another die from Simon Says, and this is the feathers. And here are my feathers. I will be adding some color to these also, and I'm using the Versamark, and I'm just gonna dab the bottom side into the Versamark. We'll be using this Wow Metallic Gold Rich Superfine embossing powder. And just because I don't want to have a defined line, I'm gonna use a brush and remove a bit of that powder there. This is such a gorgeous gold powder. I just love it. So I trimmed down a bit this panel here, and I'm gonna have my feathers coming right about here, and then I'll have my thanks on top. I'll glue together these two feathers. And I'm gonna put a bit of that glue to the back also. I just love this color combo. I've never tried it, fuchsia and gold, but I really like it. And I'm gonna put this aside to dry a bit, and I'm gonna work on my third panel that I created. I'm gonna emboss these things with some gold powder. I have here a For Everything stamp, and I honestly don't know from which set this is. I will be using a bit of this dimensional foam to adhere my little banner there. I have here a strip of some glitter paper, and I'm gonna have it coming behind my panel here. And I will use some craft foam and raise my panel. And as you can see, I used a lot of the leftovers that I had. Here are the cards that I made today. I tend to do a set of cards lately just because I have days when I lack of time, and I just want to create as much as I can when time allows. And this is my third card. You can see here that shading that you can get with a Copic marker or a pencil or anything that you have. It adds just a bit of more movement to a flat stenciled area. Here is my bold combination of colors. It's gold and fuchsia, and that paste there, it's pretty neat. And I love how the pattern continues under that texture paste there. And this is my first card where I used the glitter and did the same thing with the embossing paste and the stenciling. So I hope I gave you some ideas, and that you'll try this cool technique with stenciling and modeling paste or texture paste. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.